Hello, welcome in. Can you guys hear me? Is the audio working? Sometimes I forget to plug it in. Hello, hello. All right. So today we are going to try. Well, someone asked me, is Haktos still good in 2026, and or like what updates I would make? And the answer is I have no idea. Because I have not touched Haktos since it came out probably 5 years ago. Um, yeah, it's been a minute, but it kind of got me thinking because I don't know. Haktos was like it was decent, but it was never like the most powerful thing going. But it's also like weirdly annoying in that you can get into weird places where no one can interact with it, and yeah, just that can get things that you can't interact with do feel really bad sometimes. So there is that. All right, well, you need to go find my old version of the list, which is step one. Um, Because once again, I have not touched this thing in a very long time. So we're gonna go find this deck list. There it is. 5 years and 11 months. Is that what I saw? Good God. Oop, the mana crypt's still in there. All right, so let's. Where's the download button? Oop, that's not what we want. Import this deck list. Damn, if I knew you were streaming, I would have thrown you a couple bucks. Yeah, no worries. I just started. Just started. All right, get that in the command zone. Get rid of this mana crypt. Do that. See how I feel about this deck. Burnished Heart is definitely a little past its heyday, so that one's probably coming out. Mortal Sun probably is too. It's like a very specific type card. Okay. Next step is we're gonna go check EDH Rec and just see if there's any like cool new stuff for this commander, because I have not kept up with it at all. Newer cards. So a lot of it, you can do an exalted theme for sure, which might actually be a pretty interesting way to take the deck. I'm probably not going to do that today because I don't feel like reworking it that much. But I've gotten to this place. There's so many Boros commanders now. I mean, there's over 100 that like you can do the same thing in every deck if you want to, but now I'm kind of in this place where like when I build one, I try to make it unique from the other Boros decks that I have. So actually going in the Exalted direction would be a reasonable take with this thing. If nothing else, just to differentiate it from every other Boros deck where you run a lot of the same cards over and over. Choose creature type, creature control, get 2/2 first strike and trample. Ugh, if it wasn't 6 mana. 6 mana is a lot for that. Other warriors get 1/1. That I like. Attacking war. Ooh. Sources of double strike are always going to be pretty good. 1/1 and double. 1/1 and double strike. I think that's got me. Suki. Let's see if that one's on Magic Online. Hey, look at that. Love that. I don't even know what set that is. Anyone know what set that is? What do we got here? Spells you control can't be countered. Other creatures you control have ward 2, pay 2 life. Yeah, I could live without that. Change direction spell. Yeah, there's Ryu. Um, yeah, once again, probably not a bad idea for the sort of exalted theme. I might throw that in for funsies. So when I originally played this deck, I did kind of like a team keyword sort of deck. Cards that give keywords to the entire team. Because obviously you're not always going to be able to target Haktos with stuff. So I'm not a big fan. At a conceptual level, I'm not a huge fan of doing the equipment thing with Haktos. You could, but there is going to be some weirdness sometimes where you just like can't equip the thing that you want to equip. So rather than put ourselves through that. Ooh, Flaming Fist, huh? Flaming Fist seems like a pretty good pickup. Yeah, this deck's definitely shown its age a little bit. The mana curve's a lot higher than something I would run these days, especially for like a non-ramp kind of deck. So there's a nice pickup. Do we have Bastion Protector? Should, right? No, no Bastion Protector. That seems like an oversight. Bastion Protector is very good. We've definitely upgraded the draw engines over the last 5 years. That is for sure. As I think about it, I think I've only deleted one card. I might make a little pile of all the cards I'm cutting, just to kind of like see where we used to be. I think that'll be a fun little thing. Let's get our. Ooh, what's that art? We'll try this art. I like the original, but that one's. Oh, maybe we can't. Can't use that one. Sorry, guys. Back to the original. Always. Do I have always watching in here? Did I already have Bastion Protector? Maybe I already had it. Maybe I had it and didn't see it. That's entirely possible. Oh, what else we got? Always watching Silverblade Paladin Tavern Brawler. Always watching. Yeah, that's interesting. So when I played this deck, this must have been like shortly before I really went on my always watching kick. I feel like always watching has weirdly gotten better over the past number of years. And that's probably because creatures are smaller and things happen quicker. So, you know, those early turns, like not giving up a bunch of life so that you can attack. I don't know. Just always watching has done a lot lately. And I really like what it's bringing. Oop, don't look at that. Bloodsworn Steward. I'm less convinced about that one, honestly. Legion's Initiative could be good. Legion's Initiative is that 1/1. And so math-wise, putting 7 or giving +1/+1 on this thing is a really good idea because you shorten the number of hits from 4 to 3, which is a pretty big deal. I remember running that math with Aurelia so many times. With Aurelia, it was any you need 2. You need either +3/+3 or an extra combat or double strike. Pick 2 of the 3, and that'll get you lethal on a player in 1 turn. Yep, Magic Online is still laggy as all get out. I see they have not fixed that in my time away. Yeah, same to that point. Because creatures are smaller, +1/+1's a lot more valuable. You know, 10, 15 years ago when there were when the game always ended with Eldrazi, +1/+1 was like not that good most of the time. Like it was fine, but the second like you get hit with an attack trigger from a Kozilek, you're like, this 1/1's not doing all that much. Um, Sublime Archangel's interesting, and I may throw it in just for funsies. We'll see how the 4 drops are looking. You don't get to run. I personally have never gotten to run that card that much, and I feel like it's largely past its heyday, unless you're doing this exalted kind of thing. But um, kind of wish I ran it a little bit more over the years. It's just a really cool card. I think it like weirdly held a lot of value. Yeah, well, it's still $5, right? I think that was like weirdly expensive for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. Blade Historian seems like a very good idea. Tome of Legends. Okay, we already have Tome of Legends. Blade Historian. Yeah, so far from what I've seen, I already like the upgrades that we're getting for this deck, and it hasn't been like a ton of stuff, and it is, still fairly classic stuff, but I think it does make a lot of sense for what we're wanting to do here. Balefire Liege, I can take it or leave. It is cool, but I don't know. 5 mana is a lot. 5 mana, and it like doesn't attack or block super well. Like I wish it was a 3/5 at least, maybe a 4/4. Just I don't know. Feels a little underpowered for what it's doing. Karlach is a disgusting magic card that we should definitely add in. Thraben Watcher. Yeah, I mean, if you want always watching, you probably want Thraben Watcher also. Sorry, 1 sec. I gotta send a text. I got a new lady. Anything else? None of this. Esper Sentinel is just generically good. Do we have that one? We did not. This thing's still $1 million. $60. Yep. That's a big old yep. All right. Let's see where we're at. We do gotta cut some stuff. So I'm gonna make a pile of all the cuts. I think I cut one thing already. I forgot what it was, but just to kind of see where we've come. So Immortal Sun definitely out. Fire Song and Sunspeaker. Oh crap! Why did I have Fire Song and Sunspeaker in here? Oh, because I have all these burn spells. That's why. I feel like that might be too cute. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's going to go in the cut pile for now. Combustible Gear Hulk. Yeah, there's definitely better card draw than that now. Cool card. I don't know if this is the right deck. Sunbirds Invocation's so tricky. It's a little slow by today's standards, that is for sure. But, man, if you ever get it and if you ever, like, untap with it, usually you win the game. Whenever one or more creatures you control attack the gain indestructible. Yeah, that we like. That we like a lot. Assemble the Legion, definitely out. Reforge the Soul, that's going to be out. Neheb is kind of slow. Backdraft Hellkite was kind of a test card that I was using just to like generate some. I was looking for a way to generate value. That's what I was doing. Cavalier of Dawn, no real synergy, but is just kind of useful as like a creature that has removal. Sunscorch Regent is just a giant beat stick. The days of Sunscorch Regent may have... It's so much fun, though. You know, I'm going to leave Sunscorch Regent, because with all the kind of pumping stuff that we have in the deck, Sunscorch Regent could actually be pretty legit. Solemn is probably slow by today's standards. Outlaws Merriment, I don't think we need. Oh, I know what I was doing. So with the token stuff, I was running the token stuff because I was running a lot of board wipes, which sort of makes sense, but I don't know. In today's day and age, like, if you're playing tokens, you need to support those tokens, and we're not really supporting those tokens in a way that's super good to really get much done with them. So, concerted effort, Smothering Tithe. That's probably gonna go just because I'm aiming for bracket 3. So put that in the bracket pile right there. Another indestructible. Yep. Got some of the indestructible stuff just cause. Yep. Protection from monocolor. Oh yeah, I put that. Yeah, because of all the board wipes. That could be fun. Yeah, Burnished Heart is past its heyday. God, I ran Burnished Heart in everything for a long time. Repercussion is a silly magic. I don't know where this is coming from. God. Gotta love ads. Gotta love ads. Let's see. That was a silly test card. I might keep it in because it's still pretty silly. This is a ramp card and like not a great one at that. There's a bracket card. Wheel of Fortune's not on the Game Changers list, right? So I actually had like decent ramp for the time of when I played this deck. Had Talisman, Sword, Dowsing, Boros Signet. What's the other one? Arcane Signet. Definitely going to want to come in. Yeah, I resisted Signets for a long time, and now it's just like I've had to finally bite the bullet and just be like, yep, we are in the Signet meta. And I wish we weren't, but there isn't that much I can do about it, so bring in a Signet. Still a fan of Tithe. Mark of Asylum kind of synergizes with what we're doing. Yeah, so here's the cuts. Just for our own kind of reference. Immortal Sun, maybe Fire Song and Sunspeaker. We'll put that one in a separate pile. Combustible Gear Hulk, Assemble the Legion, Reforge a Soul, Backdraft Hellkite, Solemn, Outlaws Merriment, Boros Charger, and Burnished Heart. So mostly ramp and card draw and 2 token producers. I've sort of given up on the token theme. Although, like, Outlaws Merriment could probably be fine. Yeah, I don't know. Unsupported. I don't love the idea of unsupported tokens. Fire Song might be cute enough that I might just try and stick with it. Are there any other... Let's just scroll. Keeper of the Accord is a card that we want. Yeah, the 4-drops are still super crowded. That's still a thing. Yep. I see we haven't fixed that issue yet. Lauren's a very good Magic card. Extra combats. Let's get past the Chaos Warp. I might throw a Deflecting Palm in here. That could be fun. Single combat could be interesting. We do have a lot of board wipes already, though. Well, I have about 5 of the big red board wipes in the deck, so it's kind of a late game. Like, get that down, then drop the board wipe, and then watch craziness happen. I should actually read it again. I haven't actually read it in a long time. What's it do? Red instant and sorcery spells you control have life. Okay, so you gain a million life is what happens. Yeah, there's probably easier ways to gain that kind of life. So, Fire Song out. We're at 101. Oh, wait. Yeah, Sunbird's still kind of cute. Yeah, you could cut Neheb. Neheb is a weird card in that, like, everyone knows to shoot it, so it never lives more than a turn. Because if it does live more than a turn, you probably win the game. So, like, I've actually... I don't run it a lot because of that, because it just eats removal so hard. And it's like, is it worth it if that's going to be the case? Giselle's good because we do have a lot of burn. Yeah, we like that. We do like the burn. I feel like this deck... Let me just finish. Are there any cool enchantments? Tempered in Solitude. Okay, yeah, Tempered in Solitude is actually something I can get down with. What's this? Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. Well, it's not awful. Maybe a little overpriced for 4 mana. Beginning of your end step, if you control creature with power 4 greater, is the top. Okay, these are cards. Tempered in Solitude and Furious Rise, I think, are going to be good for us. We did cut a bunch of card draw. So we're going to want to get that back in. We're not like... I don't know. That one doesn't wow me. Flowering of the White Tree, on the other hand. 2 power and ward. Flowering of the White Tree is a pretty legit card. Guild Artisan should be pretty good. Oh, I didn't get to the other... What are the other backgrounds? Whenever you cast a spell from it, no, that's not us. Enchantment. Let's get Guild Artisan. Popular Entertainer is not the worst thing I've ever seen either. Whenever one or more creatures you control to combat damage your player, yeah, that's pretty cute. Tavern Brawler should be legit also. So the card draw looks... It's a lot more incremental than it was in the past, but thankfully it costs less than 6 mana now, which I like. Yeah, typical finisher stuff. Odric is good, but probably not necessary either. Yeah, I might need to take a look at that. Any interesting planeswalkers? Just the Wanderer. Although the Wanderer is actually legit for what we're doing, so yeah. Well, we need another 4-drop in the deck, right? How many 4-drops is too many 4-drops? Never enough. Never enough 4-drops. Nope. Now we're back to 107. Don't love that. Cavalier Dawn can come out. It's good, just no real synergy. It's kind of a lot of mana. You get this mana curve down a little bit. Oh, I want to leave that in. It's so cute. When do you ever get to run this thing? Heliod, Keeper, Odric. Yeah, for spreading keywords, I like the idea of spreading keywords. We'll keep that in. Concerted effort, still spreading keywords, Return to Dust. Yeah, I think Sublime Archangel's coming out. Iroas, what's this one? That's an extra combat. Those are pretty good. 15 4-drops is definitely too many. Return to Dust out. Neheb is just mana and it dies a lot. Yeah, Neheb can probably come out. There's other ways to generate mana now that don't generate the heat that Neheb does. $37 lands, you could probably come down just to probably cut a land. What's the haste one? Arena? Is that it? Let's get Arena of Glory. What's the white Lord of the Rings land? It's not Rivendell. It is... Crap, I can't... What's the white legendary land from Lord of the Rings? Draws you cards. Remorseful Cleric can come out as just a cute way to get some equipment hits and remove graveyards if you need to. Minas Tirith, that's the one. Thank you. Do we have enough low drop creatures for the Dowsing Dagger? That is a fantastic question, one that I was thinking about myself. We have 23 creatures in the deck still. We have Esper Sentinel, Selfless Stoneforge. I'm going to put Ornithopter in here because, you know, Ornithopter of Paradise can carry an equipment for you if you need to. Plus more ramp. As of right now, I think we do. It may not happen all like perfectly. It might be more of like a turn 4 sort of play, but I think we do as of right now. Equipment are hard to target with what? Equipment are hard to target Haktos with, right? Yeah, because you don't know what he's gonna get, so you don't want to go too heavy on equipment. I had my old staples from back then: Feast and Famine, Dazzling Dagger, Mask of Memory, Sword of the Animist. Other than that, that's, those are sort of the basic Boros value generation package from back in the day. Got any hidden NDFCs that not yet. Not yet. We need to get those in. What's the one that you can blow up a land and creatures can't block? Sundering something? Is that it? Sundering Eruption. Yeah, that's a legit one. I really like that one. Sajiri Shelter is always good. Okay, we're still at 107. We need less stuff. Honestly, we could probably just use like less creatures. I'm gonna give up on Sunbird's Invocation. I don't know that that's gonna do what we want it to do. Got a lot of 6-drops already anyway. I like Angelic Skirmisher. Choosing the keywords is genuinely very helpful. This one's pretty decent too. Sunscorch we could cut, but it's kind of a nice backup commander that just, it's a big flying threat that if we're putting double strike on stuff, it's going to be pretty legit. Oh, we need a Silverblade Paladin. Why is that not in here? Arden? Yeah, probably not worth the slot. Again, I just have like a couple very basic equipment. We're not trying to be an equipment deck, so. Okay. How many extra combats do we have? We have 1 there. We have a Karlak. That's 2. We have Ryu is 3 and Aggravated Assault is 4. Yeah, I mean, that's plenty. That's probably even 1 too many. We don't even have Waves of Aggression. Oh, love Waves of Aggression. That card makes me so happy. Okay, what are we cutting? Probably need like 1 less 2-drop, at the very least. Selfless Spirit could go, but Indestructible is a nice bargaining chip, especially with what we're doing. This is a nice combo piece for us. This is just kind of cute. Yeah, because we can block a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think this is the deck that Brave the Sands actually stays in. Yeah, I'm gonna give up on the Dowsing Dagger. The Dowsing Dagger Dream might be a little difficult for this one. Oh, we could probably use Bitterthorn in the deck also. Yeah, we're at 106 though. Oh, we can get rid of a couple lands. Hey, what other lands do we need to update for the last 5 years? I'm not so worried about like the dual lands, but like more so the utility lands that I have not kept great track of. Spine Rock Knoll can come out. That one is past its heyday. Yeah, New Benalia is probably not quite good enough. It's finally Brave the Sands time. I know, it's been the 101st card in every deck for the last 12 years. What can we do that's better than Clifftop Retreat? I know there's got to be. What's the Surveil one? Parlor or something? Yeah, Boros Garrison's also past its heyday. Still do love me some Flamekin Village. Actually, what does it say again? Protection from each mana value other than the chosen number. This is maybe not the Flamekin Village deck. We could add Hall the Bandit Lord, but God, that thing burns through life like you wouldn't believe. That said, haste is a really good keyword. Oh, what about... I might add it. Because if this goes down for some reason, you really want haste on the way back in. The life loss is going to be painful, but... Maybe you'll get lucky. Someone will cast an Urborg or a Cradle for you, and you won't have to lose life every time you use it. It's 38 lands. We could probably still come down. Restless Bivouac. That one's not good enough for me. Probably still come down a land or two. Sunhome is... You're not going to be able to target real well with this deck. Sunhome out. I might actually try to run the proper number of lands this time, because I've been really skimping. So this is 35 with 2 dual face lands, which is pretty good. There's only 1 tithe. No, there's 2, I guess, with Keeper in the deck. But since I don't like, we're probably not going to have time for a second game tonight, so having a little more land is probably better, just to make sure we don't get mana screwed. Okay, 3 cards. What's coming out? I feel like 1 less creature wouldn't be the worst. Is this too cute? I mean, this thing, it still wins games if you ever land it, which is awesome, but it might be too cute. Back when you actually, back in the day when things went bigger, it was a much better card. Yeah, the balance between land drops and mana ramp is very delicate. Realistically, you want to be doing both. But yeah, you don't want to be playing a Signet while missing a land drop. That's, it's not the best. What does this one do? Double strike? Yeah, we love double strike. What things are really good with double strike? We have a fair amount of double strike in the deck. Just want to think about that a little bit. Alright, let's try to cut 1 card from each pile if we can. Salvo Spirit's pretty good. It's a tough one to... Oh, is this an ally? It's an ally. Nice. Doesn't fit in my ally rally deck, but... this is... I mean, this is cute, but also if Haktos is giant, that's like actually a legit problem for people. Um, is Odric past its day? There's flying, no keyword. Second flying. This gives a keyword. That grants a keyword. That grants a keyword. I think Odric is past its time. There isn't a lot of synergy pieces for it. Everything in here is like already kind of giving the ability to. Yeah. Okay. Concerted effort though is cool. Concerted effort can spread the protection, which is really interesting. Um, does it spread indestructible? No, it doesn't spread indestructible. It's unfortunate. Um, okay, two to go. Maybe one land. Get rid of one land. That'll put us at 36. We can get rid of Bloodstained Mire. One card to go. Honestly, this thing's okay, but we have better Double Strike that doesn't cost 4 mana, so I'm going to get rid of it. All right. Cool. Let's fire up a game. This is bracket 3, by the way. They moved all the buttons. Oh no. I haven't logged in a while. Check on chat, see how chat's doing. Check on my Discord. Discord appears to be fine. Hello, hello. Just finished editing the deck, making some much needed updates after 5 years and 11 months of not touching this deck. While we're waiting, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button. Helps people come on into the stream, which we like. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, someone asked me about this in a YouTube comment maybe about a week ago, and maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I don't remember at this point. And I don't know. It just kind of like it was kind of rolling around my head. I'm like, yeah, I do wonder where this deck is at. Um, just have not touched it since. And like I said, it was all right at the time that it came out. I would have put it somewhere between like a B and a C tier. It didn't give you amazing ways to win the game. Like it didn't just like you don't just like cruise to victory with it. You got to work a little bit and hope things fall into place. It doesn't generate value in any real sense. It's kind of just annoying and does a lot of damage, and there is value in that, but it's not necessarily the same as like drawing a million cards and making a million mana. But I do kind of like these enchantment editions that we have here. One we could probably add. We could probably get like what's the expensive white one that draws cards. 23 creatures. It's a little tricky, but the question is like how long until you have 2 creatures that you can attack with, and that timing may vary, but We did get down to a more reasonable 13 4-drops, which I do like. I think we don't have an austere command or a farewell in the deck, and that might be a thing that I would probably add. We don't have like mass enchantment removal. If we run into Enchantress, we're like probably just dead in the water. The Boros Whisperer, I am back. Hello. Yeah, I've been thinking about doing the stream for the better part of like 2 or 3 weeks. And it was just like, every time I try to run the stream, something would come up and then I didn't feel like doing it. Or something would get in the way, or you're tired and don't feel like turning the camera on. And you're like, yep. So, yeah, anyway, I've been thinking about this for a little while. Been wanting to get back. I want to try to like stream somewhat regularly. Once a week is probably out of the equation right now, but like once every 2 or 3 weeks might be reasonable. Man, can we get a fourth player here? No one like bracket 3? Or does no one play Commander anymore? Has that happened in my time away? Remember, combat can solve all problems. Yes, it can. I remember reading an article, God, this is like 2012, 11. When I was a member of Star City Games at one point, I used to read all the articles. And whoever was doing one of the commander, it wasn't Benny, it was someone else. They were talking about, I think it was Thromok, I'm pretty sure, and one of the things they talked about is that, like, yeah, if you kill people super quickly, you don't need to be able to solve a million different problems. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that is sort of the Boros ethos, right? If you kill them on turn 6 or turn 7, then you don't have to deal with whatever you don't have to try to solve the shenanigans that they're going to get up to on turn 8 or 9, right? Yeah, that's true. It's Monday night and it's a little late. Oh, did we just get someone? Yeah, all right, we got a game. All right, you guys get to see how incredibly rusty I am at this game. I have not played in a few months. Probably whenever the last stream was. That was probably the last time I played. It's going to be up to you guys. Make sure I don't make any mistakes. The all ramp hand. You know, this hand's very playable, but like a little bit of card advantage would make me happy. I mean, I guess that's card advantage. It kind of just doesn't do that. We should probably keep that one, but I'm gonna try to get greedy and do a little better. Punished. Definitely punished. Going to 6. Yeah, I was hoping for something like this. Like, something like this, and the last one makes the last one amazing, but... I was concerned looking at it that I'm like, it ramps and it gets mana, but it doesn't do a lot beside that, and this deck doesn't have like big mana payoffs for the most part. I guess it's gonna be this one. Keep. Goad. Oh, Sunscorched Regent, my love, to the bottom. Heliod's virtual card advantage. Yeah, this deck is not like, unless we have Feast and Famine going, we're probably not going to generate enough mana to really be able to make tokens. Like, that mana is much better spent with us doing other stuff. Applying lifelink at the beginning of end step. If you descended this turn, scry 1. Toma Legends is a sight for sore eyes. Oh, I should have put Alpine Meadow in the deck. Oops. Plateau it is. Oh crap! It's turn one. No, yeah, we should have went to tap one. Whoops. That was bad. That was bad. I forgot what I was doing. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the surveil one would have been good there because we could have like made sure we get to another land. Whoopsie. Stuff like that. I mean, mistakes like that can be fairly large. Also. Yeah, we should probably take a look at what else is going on over here. Genova Ancient Calamity. I saw the green and black, and I'm like, we're probably going to lose to that. I don't even know what it does, but we're probably losing to it. So, 4 mana for a 1/5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1 counters on it. Power up to one other target creature. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. Whenever a mutant you control dies during your turn, you draw cards equal to its power. Oh, yeah, so just things get big and draw a million cards. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to lose that deck. Hamza. Spells cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with +1 counter on it. Creatures you control cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with +1 counter on it. Okay. +1 counter stuff, green, white. And finally, Minwu Rebellion Strategist. Oh, it's Mangara the Diplomat. Okay. So, mono white stuff. Yeah, poke that green-black deck. Get them for 1. You descended if a permanent you control was put into your graveyard from anywhere. Okay. Yeah, Starstorm, I would have definitely surveilled away. Crap. Toma Legends. Yeah, 5 toughness is a lot for our brand of removal. It's gonna take us a lot of mana to get to that point. Actually, maybe that's a thing to think about. It might be worth putting the Heb back in because those big X spells. We need to be able to generate the mana for the big X spells. Mosh Pit Skeleton. Moss Pit Skeleton. It is a moss pit, not a mosh pit. Those are different things. Scavenging Ooze. Kiss them graveyards goodbye. Probably helpful to keep that around against the green-black deck. You never know what they're going to get up to. Also, mono-white. Mono-white reanimates a little bit now. That's gotten significantly better over the years. We have a Sun Titan. I think that we're pretty light on reanimation otherwise, I think. We have a Maria. I don't know. It would take something extraordinary for a Maria to get going with this deck in its current configuration. Whenever you cast a spell, if you've cast another spell, copy this spell. All right. Make a bunch of 2/3s with flying and lifelink. Okay. Opponent's got like a lifelink theme going here. Why not both? Druid Core enthusiast, probably. Find out if they have all the latest moves in hardcore. Soul Ring is a sight for sore eyes. Okay, yeah, let's get our redraw. I should have did that the other way. Soul Ring for... Does it matter? Yeah, no, Oh, God. God, I'm so bad at this game. Sorry, guys. Yep, so to win... Soul Ring first, use that mana into Tome of Legends, and then we could have cast any of our enchantments. On the other hand, if someone drops a board wipe or something like that, then, you know, at least we're not in the line of fire. So now the question is, how do we get to the colored mana that we need to cast our commander at some point? So 2 turns, 2 mistakes thus far. Though I guess if we surveil, if we surveil, we get to that Soul Ring a turn sooner. That's a pretty big. That's actually a pretty big game right there. If we lose, it's probably because of that. Soul Ring on 2 would have been very strong. I'm not convinced I want to start playing the Advocus game yet. Maybe I do. Yeah, there's other aggro decks at the table, and if they want to kill each other, I'm probably fine with that, so... Yeah, maybe we're playing that game. This is the goad one. I don't miss all the waiting in Commander. Did I make a deck with Lightning from Final Fantasy? I was curious to see your take. That one did pique my interest when it came out, but no, I didn't really play any of the Final Fantasy commanders. My friend got into drafting, so I did draft a little bit of Final Fantasy. So I did at least see some of the cards and see some of the stuff at work, and it was actually a pretty interesting set. I wasn't. I'm on record of not being thrilled about most of the Universes Beyond stuff that we're doing now. Lightning Army of 1. First strike, trample, lifelink. Deals combat damage to a player until your next turn. If a source would deal damage to that player or a permanent that player controls, it deals double that damage instead. Yeah, I mean, there's got to be any number of crazy things you can do with that. If a source would deal damage to that player, if a source deal that so it's also opponent stuff. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, you could do like a double strike thing. It'd be pretty good. You could do the storm thing. Also be pretty good. Just any random burn spells. Really? Actual lightning bolt is even fine. um, yeah, it's probably like a double strike tribal sort of situation. Um, and then a bunch of burn spells to back it up. I imagine you're gonna need some evasion. First strike, trample, lifelink are really powerful keywords. That looks like a really strong deck from my sitting here reading it. There's a couple different things you can do, and they all seem very powerful. Double damage. And again, that's not just double damage from your stuff. It's if anyone does damage to them, it's doubled. That's pretty insane. Came back to our turn. We did not catch that land. Yeah, gonna feel that. Although Wear Tear is not the worst thing I've ever seen. Opponent got their own Soul Ring. Rock's Faith Mender. Oh yeah, life gain deck. We do commander damage, so like we're not the most worried about life gain. Yeah, let's play the Orvic. Let's play the no. How much mana do we have? We have 4 mana. Let's get these 2 things in then. This one's an instant. That's helpful. Get this thing in. Part of me is like cycle Starstorm to get to a land, but I don't know. We have more of those effects, but you don't necessarily want to just like give one up. Maybe we'll rip a Keeper of the Accord and undo all the mistakes I've made. Vincent Valentine, huh? But yeah, finishing up on Lightning. Lightning looks... There's things you can do, and it looks pretty crazy. I mean, even if you just did Keyword Tribal, like, which is not the strongest thing you can do with that deck, but, like, 3 keywords on a 3-mana commander, that's some real good keyword stuff right there. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a number of counters on Vincent equal to that creature's power. Whenever Vincent attacks, you may transform it, trample, lifelink. Oh yeah, that looks like a ton of fun, actually. I haven't played Mono Black in quite a long time now, but I could actually enjoy that quite a bit. Sort of like, almost like Braids. Not Braids, Crash the Blood Rated, sorry, that's what I'm thinking of. A deck that I built in paper, but like, only ever played it one time and never really refined it. It was kind of just made out of leftovers, so the particular one that I have was like, not amazing, but... Opponent flashes in a Liberator Urza's Battlecopter. Teamer Sabertooth. Nothing bad will happen with that card in play. He's a whole lot of fun with a lot more depth than the first read suggests. Yeah, I could see that. You know, if your creatures are getting a lot of power and toughness, there's always things you can do, especially if it's counters. You can move them around. I saw a lifelink in there too, I think. Did I not? Yeah, trample lifelink. I mean, that even by itself is just kind of fun. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. That, you know, as a old school commander player, I like things that get big, right? Like things that get big are exciting to me. I'm not such a fan of the new school, everything must be one mana synergy pieces. It's not exactly the commander that I signed up for many years ago. Mangara, I'm jealous. Mangara draws cards, and we need to draw cards so badly. Kind of wish this was Tempered in Solitude, but I guess it doesn't really matter because we don't have any thing to attack with. Is it turn 5 already? Good God. That doesn't seem right. Is it? I guess we've only had 4 turns. That still means we've missed 2 land drops. Eesh. I mean, lifelink tribal. They're doing stuff. Is it good? I don't know yet, but they're at 70. Damage isn't a thing that they're super worried about. Not a land. All right. I am going to probably cycle or cast Starstorm. I'm not like super worried about the... More likely I'm going to cycle it. If I cycle it, let's just try to do it now. We need to get to a land. There's a land. It's a tap land. Okay, that gamble worked out. Did give up our board wipe to do it, but I don't really want to stop the white deck from attacking other people. This stuff I would like to get rid of, but... also, if we can somehow cast our commander, this is a much-needed scry. Thought Vessel? You know, if they dropped an Anthem... If they dropped an Elish Norn... This Lifelink Tribal would, you know, right now it's like, okay, it's cute and it's fun. If they dropped an Elish Norn, it would actually, things would become pretty serious because the damage would be significant and the life gain would be even more significant. Again, we do commander damage, so we're not like super worried about life gain. But someone that's got a super high life total also means that like other players probably won't attack them because attacking into 150 life just is kind of pointless. Unless you're doing, you know, large chunks of it, you know, attacking for 6 into 150, you're probably not going to do it, right? Tarian's Journal. Draw a card. Yeah, so far, literally everything would have been better if we grabbed the Surveil land and put Starstorm to the bottom, or on in the graveyard. We'd have got the Soul Ring on 2. We would have hit that Path of Ancestry sooner. Everything just looks a lot better. Are we last in the turn order, by the way? It's turn 5. No, we can't be. Another commander I've been thinking about. I saw when I was playing over like the summer. When was that? Final Fantasy, whenever that came out. I was playing for a month or 2 at the shop. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I did see someone with a Jolly Balloon Man deck, and that was one that I saw when it came out. The deck, they were doing some wild stuff. I think it was a situation where the table had to gang up on them to stop them because it was getting out of hand pretty quickly. So I'd like to check out the Jolly Balloon Man at some time, but Lightning also sounds pretty interesting too. I was ready to 1v1 a guy who gained 93 life yesterday after Two other players died. He tutored up Reservoir and 50'd me. Ah, that's the worst. Yeah, I mean, that's probably... So if they're doing all this, you're probably looking at Reservoir, Felidar, Sovereign. What other, like, life gain win conditions are there? You know, that's probably where this is going. It'd be hilarious if you, like, had, like, a comeuppance or a bolt bend or something like that. I never got to live the dream of comeuppancing in response to an Aetherflux Reservoir trigger, because a lot of things need to go right. They need to have, like, only enough for one trigger, which, you know, 50-50 on that. A lot of times they have multiple triggers worth of life. Yeah, Excalibur. +1/+1. Whenever you gain life. Okay, so this thing's going to be giant. Check. Giant is bad for us in that it is hard for us to kill giant things. Yeah, Jolly Balloon Man is very good. It's definitely the cheap utility creature style of play. Yeah, that's what I was seeing. And they got to, I forget how, but they got to a Sun Titan pretty quickly with all that value, and was like, oh my god, what is happening over there? The good thing, if you're playing like a traditional Boros deck, and I've talked about this a number of times over the years, but like when you're playing a traditional Boros deck that just like attacks a lot, like an Adriana Aurelia, something like that, you actually want people to gain life, because if I can do 200 damage in a turn, I want that damage to be meaningful. If someone's at like 23 life, you know, I don't need to do 200, right? But if someone was at, when I was playing over the summer, what was I facing? Someone went up to like 120 life or something like that, like a really high amount. I forget what happened now, but I reanimated a whole bunch of stuff in Mabel. I did a whole bunch of reanimation. I gave everything haste, and then I played Chroma's Memorial to give them, or Chroma's Will to give them all double strike and lifelink. So I ended up doing like 200 damage. There was an Aurelia in there, so double combat. It was actually insane, and it was like one of those rare moments where like you actually need to do this much damage to get through what they have. Nope, not that land. Ouch. Wow, really needed that to be the land. That hurts. How big is this thing now? It's an 8-9. No big deal. Wait. Human? Human? That's how this works, right? Yeah, we can scribe with this thing. All right. Ooh, if we do that, though... Oh, no, okay, yeah, let's get the Advocus. I missed this, too, also. So if we cast the app... No. Wow, really? Did that just happen? That just happened. They changed how the buttons work, and I clicked through that. That's disappointing. That being the case, play this Brave the Sands and then cry a little. Good God. Yeah, so what I was going to do was cast as Advocus using the Path of Ancestry to scry one and try to get to our next land. But nope, Magic Online had other ideas. Anything with 2? Nope. Wow, it's frustrating. Very frustrating. 3 turns, 3 mistakes. Well, I guess it's 6 turns, but 6 turns, 3 mistakes. God. the thing we kind of hope on now, like if someone else dropped a board wipe, that would be fantastic. Kind of slow everyone else down and they would lose all that value. That would be super sick. And then like we would lose, assuming it doesn't get enchantments or artifacts, we would lose relatively little. Destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. I mean, it's got to be Excalibur, right? We're going to need a blocker. I mean, assuming... I don't know. Do they care about anything we're doing? We're not really doing anything. I've made too many mistakes with our mana and card draw. What's unfortunate is that I've made enough mistakes now that, like, we're not really going to get a good feel what this deck's actually doing because I've messed up most of the important turns so far. What's interesting was when I was doing content regularly, I was playing a lot. And obviously, when you play a lot, like I'm a decent Magic player, maybe not in this moment, but over my long history, decent Magic player. When I play against people, especially on Magic Online, because I did play a lot of Magic Online, so I was just like used to the interface and how kind of slow and clunky it is. I could beat a lot of people by just not making mistakes, right? Like they might have a stronger deck than me, but they misplay or misuse mana somehow. All the little things that happened in a game of Commander when I was playing, doing this full time, I was so tight in my lines of play that, and it's not that I say that I never made mistakes, but like, 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't make any of the mistakes that I just made, right? Like, it'd be, there might be, well, like, one, I don't know, maybe it's an exaggeration, but like, there'd probably be about one mistake a game in general. Which, you don't need to be perfect in a game of Commander. You just need to be better than your opponents. And you can win a lot of games by just like sequencing really well and knowing what you're doing. And, a lot of that comes from one, playing a lot, two, playing consistently, which is what I haven't been doing. Three, knowing your deck and knowing like what's in your deck and having played your deck a bunch of times, that sort of stuff. But yeah, like just knowing all the proper sequencing for everything and all the like little pieces of value can really add up over the course of a game. Consequently, because I've made mistakes on all those little bits of value, like we're really not doing anything at this moment. And I had to give up our board wipe just to try and get to a land. And like we could use that board wipe now. There's a lot of stuff on the board, and Temur Sabertooth scares me a lot, so. Protection from multicolored. When this creature enters, draw a card for each creature you control with a counter on it. That's probably going to be a few. Yep. Odric Lunarch Marshal is a magic card. Yeah, I should have kept the first hand and just like hope that we drew into things that matter. But I mean, also, this hand was playable, but we just made too many mistakes. EDH Rec, I hate you. The ads. Good God. Oh, yeah, that's a bunch of disgusting stuff. Flying Reach, Trample. Yeah, they're gonna Fateful Absence on the Odric. I love that. Creature or Planeswalker. Controller investigates. Do they go for us because we're wide open, or do they go for someone that's scarier than us? Because we don't have a lot going on. Jump Scare Dance Party. God, EDH Rec. I've had that happen in the past. I had it happen on a work call one time, and I was like super annoyed about it. Had a Hamza Storm deck once built entirely of colorless X creatures and card draw. It took too long to play, but fun solitaire, yeah. They're sending some our way. I suppose they're probably just trying to get safe attacks, but... Creature is now giant. Opponent's at 118. The fourth land, finally. Oh my God. Alright, I need to not make mistakes this turn. For the love of God. Sacred Foundry. Pay the life. Cast our commander. Scry one. That is a land. Keep that on top. Toma Legends. Draw with Toma Legends. There's a land. All right. We are sort of in the game a little bit now. Chosen number is 2. Protection from mana value other than 2. So we got to be careful of 2 mana things. And we have Vigilance and can block 2 creatures. So for any of the stuff that's not flying, can potentially stop some stuff, which would be good. Didn't know you were still cooking up YouTube stuff. Generally still build decks differently because of your Boros teachings. Hope you've been well. Thanks. Yeah, I haven't been doing that much. Basically, I just do these streams, I don't know, probably once every, we'll say 2 months, give or take. Maybe if we get down to like once a month. Once a month would be pretty reasonable. Um, yeah, just, I'm working two jobs right now, and it's a lot. Not so much time for magic. That, but did a ton of music stuff through the fall. Was My band did a couple shows that we played, and so we were practicing a lot, getting ready for that. And then I got into the LARP scene, and I've been doing a lot of like medieval bard stuff and doing bardcore and sea shanties and stuff like that, and that's actually been a ton of fun. So yeah, the entire fall I was doing all of the music, which was super cool. Um, and but does not leave a lot of time for magic. Target player draws three cards. Search your library for a card. So we're tutoring, huh? I'm sure I'm not gonna like that. I mean, if they went for the board wipe, oh god, they have 12 cards. They have 15 cards in hand? That's a problem. Did they just go for a board wipe? Or is it like game ending combo? Band's name is 2000 whatever. We are on Instagram. There they go for the board wipe. Okay. This is where that Hall of the Bandit Lord. Okay. So, one, that Hall of the Bandit Lord would be amazing. It does come in tap, though, so ideally we would have want to have that in sooner. But this damnation can potentially help erase some of the mistakes that we've made, because we only lost our commander and we didn't lose Silverblade, Orzov, or Karlak into it, and that's actually a pretty big deal. So, like, if I can get my head on straight here, we can actually recover in this game with that board wipe. Now, that said, opponents have 14 cards. Luckily, only 2 mana right now. But 14 cards is... Like, to me, 14 cards is much scarier than 118 life. I can chew through 118 life. That I'm not worried about. Dealing with green-black probably combo with 14 cards is very scary to me. Emperor of Bones. At the beginning of combat in your turn, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. Adapt to whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on this creature, put a creature exile with it on the battlefield. That seems pretty disgusting. Exiles the Rock's Faithmender. Yeah, I have the arena land in here also. It is better than... Is that one coming? I forget. How does that one read exactly? Enters tapped. Oh, yeah, so it can come in untapped. Yeah, Arena of Glory would be a sick pickup off the top. Get our commander in with haste. Would love that. Cathar's Crusade, if they got that, like, a turn sooner... I mean, that's still nasty. That probably has to get hit with Wear Tear. I mean, I would hate to, like, hinder the mono white deck because it's a mono white deck, but if we Wear Tear, like, Excalibur is probably the target. I mean, we could also hit this thing. Mangara coming back. Super fun. When you're doing medieval events and there's no electronic entertainment, people crave music and it's amazing. I've never been so appreciated in all of my like 30 years of playing music. It was incredible. So much fun. We draw a Swords of Plowshares off the top. Play the castle. Cast. What's this? This is the pump one. No haste. Okay. Cast our commander again. It's gonna get expensive. Make sure we scry. Homer Path is another land. Do we need more land or we need gas? We probably need more land. Also, should something happen to our commander, Homer Path is pretty helpful to have around. I am not going to draw just yet. I want to see what's going down with that Cathar's Crusade. We can only do one half. We can only do the Tear based on our available mana. Yeah, we can leave up Swords and Tear with the 1 mana, so we'll wait on Tome of Legends on at least until after this turn. Do it at the end step, something like that. Haktos is back in play. Unfortunately, this has 2 mana, which means I can block Haktos, and that's annoying. Fate from History. Each player who controls an artifact or enchantment creates a 2/2 bear, then destroy all... Yeah, that's real bad. Well, let's draw with the Tome of Legends. Get this one last land. So much for getting to do fun stuff with Brave the Sands. Makes me very sad. We get a bear. Oh, weird. Cathar's Crusade still goes off? Interesting. Wow, we lost 5 things. That is painful. Well, good thing we grabbed that land. That is painful. Yeah, I mean, we gotta get this thing out of the way. Yeah, that is the unfortunate... Well, I guess we can... We can cast Silverblade Paladin and give it double strike. Unfortunately, the damage won't get through, though. We could go, like, Silverblade... I mean, would I Swords to Plowshare? I might. Oh, wait. Chosen number is still 2. Yep. Could use the Sun Titan. Try and get some of that stuff back. Luckily for us, opponents have missed a lot of their lands also. If someone can get that skeleton out of the way, that'd be great. Opponent drawing more cards. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to try and kill the green-black deck. You'd love to see how many cards you've drawn over your games. Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no odometer for that. Oh, yes, they're attacking with the 2-drop. All right. Nice. So we can get a really big hit into opponent. We could go Silverblade Paladin. We could also cast Karlach, but I kind of want to save Karlach until it's safer to go Silverblade because Karlach is kind of a bigger play and more prone to eat removal, especially if like we're not killing them outright. Yeah, so we can go Silverblade and get in for 12 Commander, which is also about half their life in this moment. Why is opponent... Don't block. There's no reason to block that. Keep your 2/2, man. You're at 118. Why would they block that? Just keep your token. You have so much life. It's not commander or anything. Wait, is there a loop here or something? Opponent said GG after the board wipe. I mean, I think Commander players have gotten soft in that they expect no board wipes to happen in a game anymore. In my day, there used to be multiple board wipes and games would go entirely too long. Opponent discards a whole bunch of things. I don't know any of these cards. I know that one. This thing's a 1/5, huh? Yeah, that is the Eternal Witness. What are we getting back? Teamer Sabretooth, because of course. That's probably worthy of a swords. I would rather they did not do Teamer Sabretooth things. Does that card have flash? I can't remember. I bet if we sword their Team or Sabretooth, they might scoop. Yeah, board wipes are more necessary than ever. Like, did you see how many creatures were out on this table? Spike Weaver. Bet that's part of a combo. Oh, is that Infinite Fog? That is Infinite Fog, isn't it? What commanders are we playing against here? We're playing against, what's this one called? Genova, Ancient Calamity, green, black, +1 counters, sacrifice stuff. Hamza, Guardian of Arishan. Wow, is that Commander Legends? Wow. Looks like it's kind of an ETB plus counters thing. And then Mangara, the Diplomat. Opponent cycles a cast out. I might have used that cast out, honestly. Yeah, Spike Weaver. Yeah, Spike Weaver's got to eat removal one way or another. We have 3 removal cards in hand. Wear Tear doesn't do anything with that, though. But 2 creature removal in hand. More life gain stuff. Faith Fetters. Oh, ooh, nice. Faith Fetters on Spike Weaver. Okay. God, Faith Fetters. Haven't seen that in so long. There's one you don't see much anymore. Unfortunately, with the Team or Sabretooth, no way is it humans only that you can pick it. I forget how the Sabretooth reads now, but it's a tricky card that they can probably get out of. Beloved Princess, lifelink, can't be blocked by create 3 or greater, gain a life. End step, draw a card because they gain 3 or more life. Yeah, this life gain deck, man. I'm loving this life gain deck. Blasphemous Act is a real Magic card. It's a very real Magic card. So, cast a Blasphemous Act? Start by casting a Blasphemous Act for the minimum. Yeah, the mono white deck's valuing amazingly well. Board wipe tribal is a thing they might struggle with, though, if they're unless they weren't holding up mana for the 1 million protection effects in white. So this is a clear board with a Haktos. Now this can be our game. This I'm feeling decent about what's happening here. Play this Homeward Path. Do we just go for Karlach? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really want to leave mana up for that Teamer Sabertooth. That's a card that can make you lose. So I think we go Silverblade Paladin and save Haktos for next turn. We'll scry. I don't know. Do we need Heliod? Heliod's fine. It would be a creature. It would be a creature. I don't know. Like, our next turn is definitely probably just cast card. I don't think Heliod changes our board state that much. It is indestructible, though. How do you guys feel about Heliod? Like, part of me is almost just like, keep the board wipes coming. I think we go something else, because our next play is Karlach. I guess if we need something after that, Heliod's pretty good. We'll keep Heliod. Because we're at a point where, like, we need gas is what we need. And we have the gas in hand. Soul Bond does not target. Yeah, I was thinking bottom, but, like, if we just catch, like, a land or a signet or something like that, that feels kind of bad. I'd much rather have the Heliod over that. So I was kind of in the, like, well, it could be worse, right? Like, yeah, you know, like, another board wipe would be probably the ideal, and just keeping the board clear. So I think the adjustment for this deck is, like, even more red board wipes. Like, you really just don't want your opponents doing anything. And opponent's down to 11. That is a Haktos double strike hit. Yeah, you really just, like, don't want your opponents doing stuff. So if I were going to adjust this deck, I would probably have even more of those type cards in the deck. Quite a few. Quite a few. How many are we on now is the question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like 7, unless there's some in here that I'm missing. Yeah, it looks like 7. I'd probably add a Deafening Clarion. Staxos, yeah. I mean, that's, you know, as I was thinking about it too, I'm like, man, throw like an Authority of the Consuls in here. Blind Obedience to make it terrible. Opponents would love that. What would make them happier? Genova coming back to play. Evolution Witness. Jeez. Eternal Witness is the worst Magic card ever made, and when I say worst, I mean most annoying, and, like, I really have no love for Eternal Witness. And they just keep printing more and more of them. The good news is they still don't have any blockers. We're on 2, right? Yeah, we're on 2. So as long as they continue to not have blockers or spot removal, I feel decent about what's going on. Man, I just realized that you're the one to blame that after all these years I still want Calamity to be good. Yeah. Yeah, I still think about Calamity. Not a lot, but every once in a while, I think about Calamity also. And, like, there's over 100 Boros commanders now, and many that, like, do that job really well. But yeah, just there's such a fundamental misunderstanding of how Calamity works, or like what they intended Calamity to do. Opponent scoops, okay. That'll shorten this game up, thankfully. Um, yeah, just like it's so frustrating. And like at the time, I think there were 4 Boros commanders at that time. So when there's only 4, right? Like you need you need the ones you have to be good and like make sense mechanically. Like it just the card doesn't really work or make sense to its I don't know. Like if they just made it giant tribal, you'd be like awesome, right? Slam all the giants. Love that. Uh or if they just like, well, let's make a Voltron tribal, right? Slam all the equipment, right? One or the other, but it's this like weird in between. I wish they would make Calamity too, right? Like, give me a fixed Calamity, give me a fixed Anya. Both of those cards are like utter dog crap, and please just print new ones that like do the thing as intended. Because like, yeah, that's the other one too. So Anya's in the same set, is it not? Yeah, I think it is. And like mechanically, Anya does not really work. Like that commander is problematic in that like you don't actually because when an opponent dies, which is very much a thing you want to be doing with your opponents, it no longer counts towards Anya's abilities, and like that is just a really poor way to handle her text. Is there anything? I mean, that 2-drop is annoying, so I'm thinking we just swords that. Also, yeah, the Eternal Witness player is gone, so yeah, swords this. That's a 1-drop. Guys, this game might fall into our lap. Anya has amazing art too. Like the art for that card is insane, and it pains me like just how bad the mechanically that card is. Because I've played Anya a lot of times to try and make Anya work, and you know I would get into like a lot of Twitter arguments back when I was on Twitter about like they're like, no, you just need to do like a burn deck. I'm like, yeah, I've done that. It doesn't work. Like I'm telling you, it does not work. The card does not work as intended. Because like the way life totals kind of get handled now in Commander is kind of weird in that you know you get chipped a little bit at the start and then like it just snowballs really quickly. Like most of the damage happens late. It's not like a like damage doesn't happen evenly throughout the game typically, right? It's sort of a big snowball that like first it's 2 or 3 and then it's like 35. Okay. Opponent scoops. Here comes the combat damage. Do you play Calamity to this day? That's awesome. Oh, and Kelsian? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I could that definitely yeah, with the experience counters, that makes sense there. Um yeah, it's not a bad card, right? Like Calamity's it's not a bad card, it's just that, like it's frustrating because the abilities don't work together in a way that makes any kind of sense. There's a Karlach trigger. Karlach is has risen up the ranks to not my single favorite, but it's in like my top 5 of favorite combat extra combat spells. Having it on a creature is fantastic. Adding first strike is really useful to a lot of situations. Man, what a crazy way for this game to have devolved. Yeah, Magic Online, baby. You know, you can sort of expect this, you know, weird things to happen. Players scoop, and then when players scoop, it does favor the Boros deck a lot because you have less damage to have to do around the table. Also, we got opponents with the double board wipe. Opponent cast the first one, we cast the second, and like they just didn't have anything for that. Let's do it again, and this should be lethal. They got 4 mana, they could have something. Oop, nope, definitely attack with that. And suddenly their 124 life is only 21. Exactly. I told you guys I wasn't that worried about the life gain. And that is the beauty of commander damage. For all the times the command zone has said to get rid of commander damage, I'm like, nope. Commander damage is fun and exciting. At least for the Boros deck. Angel Song. Nice play. Nice play. Oh, yeah. Oh, opponent's real salty. All right, so we got to read this. Well, we'll let this go through. Yeah, that's our turn. Hopefully they don't have a board wipe. So here's the chat. The chat got real fun. How am I the bigger threat than the guy with 124 life? 14 cards in hand. And the other guy says, I mean, he has a 6/1 double strike commander. That seems like it negates the whole 124 life. Yeah, right? I don't really care. They can gain all the life they want. I don't really care. I care more about, you know, if they have 4 board wipes in hand, that is actually a problem. Ooh, Grasp of Fate, huh? Okay, we have a generous gift. Probably Karlach. Although technically we don't actually need Karlach, this is still lethal unless they have some other tricks up their sleeve. I probably shouldn't have just responded at all. I mean, they're probably already out of the chat, and it's probably fine, but... Tell an opponent their deck looks super fun. You know, for like weird white junk, they're actually having a pretty good go of it. You know, if they could like rip a big mass reanimate or something off the top, they'd be right back in this thing. There's the land. And we don't need to do that much right now, so. Ree! TLDR on the game. Haktos doesn't make any value, but Boros can make enough value on its own now that having your commander just being evasive, slightly harder to kill beat stick is still viable. Yeah. What is important to note is that this is turn 11. A lot of games do not go to turn 11 at this, like, any longer. So I think you do need to be fairly controlling with this thing. We needed both of those board wipes to go off. Like, the the first one alone was good, and because I had misplayed so much at the beginning, it actually like helped us because we didn't lose any of our stuff. But we also needed that second Blasphemous Act really cleared out a lot of the problems and created the tempo we needed to just keep whacking away with Haktos. So yeah, I mean, one-sided board wipes with like a giant commander, still pretty good. I think opponent's trying to activate Labyrinth of Skopos, but that is not going to work. Just saying, can't target with Labyrinth if that's what you were trying. Minwoo is scary when left unchecked. Yeah, Mangara. Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know how, but we just won that game. It took a few turns. It took me a few turns to settle back in. But afterwards, it's just like old times. Looks like it's getting away from us and bring it right back around. Oh man, I can't believe that worked. It is sadly far too late to start another game, so we'll just chat about what time? Yeah, it's 12:30. No way. Next game will take probably 90 minutes. Go to 2 a.m. I'd rather not do that. So, we'll just chat about this for a little bit. I think we can do more to. Ideally, I'd want to play this deck more. Maybe maybe we'll try like a 1v1. Because I would like to see this thing just a little bit more. You know what? All right. Paper Test, Bracket 3, no MLD, no Thoracle, no Underworld Breach. Against all better judgment, I may not play this whole game. Like, if I get tired... If this game gets really slow and really long, I'm just going to scoop, right? I do need to go to bed at some point. But I do want to see just a little bit more, especially, like, the opening turns, right? Like, I know how the later part of the game is supposed to play. But... yeah, so full disclosure, if this game goes like really slowly, I'm just going to scoop because I don't want to be here all night, trying to do this. But also, I should drink water. But yeah, thoughts were, my thoughts were we needed every bit of that double board wipe to stay in that game. Now, the first one was probably needed just because I was like bad at playing the opening turns. And maybe I just want redemption on my opening turns. Maybe that's what I'm after here. I don't know. But, yeah, you want to keep the board locked down. I almost wonder if something like Pyrohemia. Now, you have a 1 in 3 chance of that not working out at all. But it could be so strong that it might be worth it. I don't know. We'd probably need to adjust the mana if we're doing that. Make sure we have tons of red mana. This hand looks pretty good. I mean, it ramps like crazy. No real card draw. We got a scry. I'm gonna not tempt fate again. Runetail Kitsune, huh? There's one you don't see anymore. You have 30 or more life, flip it, and prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. Honestly, pretty cool. It's obviously much better in a Boros deck where you have red and you can just start dropping red board wipes. It wouldn't be awful for this deck. The problem is that you need to draw it early before you start losing life. Haktos has a chance to be weak to. Yeah, I know. Is it worth it? Right? Like, I know it's a 1 in 3 chance. Because Pyrohemia, like, it gives you the ability to like continuously lock down the board, like, assuming that Haktos is on 2 or 3, right? Whose turn is it? Okay. It could be worth it. I don't know. Eureka. Why is there a testing casual? He says playing a Yuriko deck. So we'll see how many board wipes we draw. Yeah, I saw this play. I've seen this player around. They're playing like either CEDH or near CEDH. So, uh, this will probably be a quick game. There's a land. We'll scry. Popular entertainer goading is. It's something to do early, but I think we need actual like card advantage, so I'm gonna skip past that one. It's cool and it's cute, but I don't know, with Yuriko. With Yuriko, does anything matter? It doesn't actually matter what we do in this game at this point, so. Opponent goes, it only has one game changer in the 99. That's like. I just said, my bet is that you win on turn 5. Right. Divine Reckoning is cool in Haktos. Tragic Arrogance. Tragic Arrogance is a card that I probably should run more. That might be one worth putting in also. Um, but if you're running Tragic Arrogance, should you just run Cataclysm? Not Cataclysm. Is it Cataclysm or the other one? Yeah, Cataclysm. Like, if that's what we're doing. People who are testing new decks shouldn't divulge that, by the way. Divulge what? I'm not following you. Yeah, Cataclysm is. That's the one you should be running. Oh, that's a magic card. Iroas. Let's get this fetch out of the way. Sacred Foundry untapped into Signet. We're on pace for a really fast Smothering Tithe. If we get some extra mana with that, we could potentially put a lot of Haktos, Iroas, Chroma's Memorial all in a short span. Sounds like a lot of fun. Like, if you make a new deck, you shouldn't try to bait players in by saying, oh, I'm testing something new. But I see a lot of it on MTGO. Usually it's some guy with the most basic-ass landfall deck you've ever seen. Nothing new. Yeah, right. Yeah, just the most disgustingly heinous, like, yes, we know this commander is good. And have you seen my Lord Winggrace deck? I swear it's different than all the other Lord Winggrace deck. Like, no, it's Still Lord Windgrace. Isochron Scepter. What? Dramatic reversal? Brainstorm is. I mean, they're not running Isochron Scepter for value, right? Like, that can't be what's happening. Razia's Purification. I landed a Razia's Purification in a CEDH game once, and everyone was like, what the hell is this? And I just sat there laughing. It was in Gerard Weatherlight Hero, so, like, you know, it kind of makes sense in that deck. The problem was I didn't have Gerard in play when I did it. I was just like, well, there's a Locust God that's doing crazy stuff and gonna kill the table, so Razia's Purification. And they're like, one guy had to read it like 4 times, and he's like, "Wait, I choose 3." Yeah, I'm like, "Yeah, you get 3 permanents, right? All them Locust God tokens, they go away." I ended up winning that game through a very long grind fest that the CEDH players were not prepared for, because usually the games are rather quick. There was a Windgrace at that table too. They had an Eldrazi at some point. I forget what happened, but I don't remember exactly how I got there. Gerard's a sort of complicated deck. Dockside was probably involved at some point, I'm guessing. I haven't altered Razia's Purification. It's like a border extension I found on eBay some time ago. And sadly, I just like have not run it. Like, it doesn't get run a lot. Gerard is one of the few places for it. Haktos is probably one of the few places for it also. Yeah, I mean, I hate that. Probably the best version of this deck is Cataclysm and Razia's Purification. Uh, that's not going to make great friends, though. CEDH players, when you show them a card that doesn't interact with or is Thassa's Oracle. Yep. I remember the first time I played Winota at a CEDH table, I resolved Adriana from the... No, it was Jorkadine. I resolved from the triggers, so all my stuff got huge. And the one player was like, what the hell is a Jorkadine? And I'm like, oh, well, you're in for a treat. Enters tapped unless you control a legendary creature. We do not, so that's not the one we want to go for. So I think we want to go for... What do you guys think? Smothering Tithe? We'll go Smothering Tithe first, because that just seems like an absurd amount of mana. Plus, all the blue decks are tapped, so... Seems like this should get through. What the hell is a Jorkadine? Well, it says all my stuff is huge now, and you take a shitload of damage. That was against a Tassiger player, I believe. Sadly, I think Winota... correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I haven't been playing much. I definitely haven't been following CDH, but the few... I was playing Winota a little bit. I think I tuned it up a little over the summer. And from what I gather... Like, I think Rachel pulled hers apart. I think Winota's kind of fallen out of favor in CEDH. It's like missing one combo. It needs, like, if it could like windmill into something that like just ends the game instead of having the turn flip around to win the game, I think it could get there. But like, I don't know. Also, I mean, Thassa's Oracle is so fast. I know that one guy, comedian, like had a lot of success playing it, but also like I was always kind of confused. His, maybe his deck was geared toward his meta, because like his list was like a lot of creatures, um, to the point where like a lot of his removal was also creatures, and it's like if for some reason you can't get that creature down, right? Like then I don't know. I didn't exactly see eye to eye with some of the choices he made in his list, but again, maybe it was meta specific. And I don't know, when I looked at it, I'm like I'm doing roughly the same things, and I don't understand how he's actually besting all these decks, because later as I started playing Winota, that maybe that first month that it came out, people hadn't really seen it. After that first month, I wasn't really winning games, because like the one piece of removal people would have, they would definitely just use on Winota, and then the deck falls apart. So yeah, I don't know. It was a really fun month when she was just slapping everyone around, but have not seen her do well at the CDH level in the very little bit that I've kind of kept my toes in it. Your CEDH deck is Velomachus? You have to be joking. Either you're joking or I want to hear this story. One or the other, because I found Velomachus an incredibly difficult deck to make. Now, if you've got some like magic spice that I need to know about, I am all ears, because Velomachus is a really interesting card that I find difficult to. It's real? Okay. Can you send me that list? I need to know what's going on. Velo, because like, I mean, this is like back when I was doing content every day. Like, I was a good Boros player at that point. I'm like, I can't really figure out what to do with this Velomachus deck other than blow up all the lands. And at 7 mana, it was like not the easiest thing to get into play and go, good God, if it dies. Oh, if it dies. Hey, we're drawing it. Someone drew cards, so we're making all the mana, and this is what I was banking on. Yeah, you can brainstorm into my Smothering Tithe all day. All day long. You nailed it. Blow up all the lands. Okay, so it was just Velomachus blow up all the lands. Got it. Do you do anything else in the deck, or is it just like Velomachus removal and blow up all the lands? Because that was kind of like, as I was going through it, I'm like, it's kind of sad that there's like not anything else like super exciting to be doing with the deck. All the like, I don't know, the Boros token producers, like there's a bunch of the like, I don't know, 4 mana make 2/2/2s, just all felt kind of underwhelming for what's happening. And even like, if you cast Velomachus and you rip, let's say, like a Generous Gift or a Wear Tear off the top, like, that's fine, but it doesn't exactly blow you away for, like, the 7 mana you just spent trying to get Velomachus in. You ran a Narset deck that blew up lands, sounded really similar to Velomachus? Okay. Yeah. Velomachus Combats? Is that the deck? There's something really funny about hitting Stone Rains instead of Time Warps with Narset. Okay, yeah. Draw 2 cards. They keep drawing them cards. When they gonna learn? I mean, this isn't gonna happen, but the spice that opponent scoops. Wow. The spice that I was hoping on was that we're gonna have enough to go Akromas, Iroas, and Haktos all in one turn. That'd be silly. The Yuriko's gone, which means this can actually be a game, and also this game won't be short enough where we can actually like play the whole thing. Also, given that we've had a turn 3 Smothering Tithe that blue decks have just played right into, we may win this game very quickly. Opponents are going to have like a pretty uphill battle. Philomachus combat tricks is really what it is? Okay. Send me that list. I'd be curious to look at it. You crashing? Thank you for shaping my EDH childhood. Wishing you the best. We'll catch you next stream. Yeah, man. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'll be crashing very soon also. Thank God for the smothering ties, so hopefully this game doesn't go all night. There's a Heliod. We can get all the gods. Let's go. Let's get Haktos. Wow. We have enough for the Akroma's Memorial, which is rather silly. Play Minas Tirith. We have 9 mana. Yeah, slam Akroma's Memorial. Why not? I know it's expensive, but Akroma's Memorial still wins games when it comes down. It's not just going to end the game right here, but I mean, opponents need a lot of answers. Let's go after the blue deck. What commander is this? Runetail? Let's go after the blue deck. I think that makes a lot more sense. What a busted Magic card. I got someone with my Angel deck when I was playing over the summer. I got the Smothering Tithe, the Wheel of Fortune combo, and they were trying to explain to me, like, no, Smothering Tithe is fair. And then I'm like, oh, well, you got me with the $400 card with the wheel. I'm like, it's not the Wheel of Fortune that's causing the problems. It's the Smothering Tithe that's causing the problem, right? Like, I could play Reforge the Soul, which is a few dollars, and, you know, the same thing as Wheel of Fortune, right? And believe that's not what the issue is. Runetail Kitsune. Flip the Runetail, yeah, so damage doesn't happen to their stuff anymore. It's rather cute. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. That is all damage. Burn spells, everything. Actually kind of counteracts a bit of what we're doing. Luckily, what number are we on? We're on 4. They don't have a 4-drop, so, you know, until they find one of those, we're in pretty good shape. So the long history is, like, whenever I play the second game on these streams, I'm always like, hopefully the second game goes nice and quick, because I don't want to, you know, stay up too late. And the second game always takes like 2.5 hours and just becomes miserable. And then I'm always like, why did I play the second game? This one, not so bad. Not so bad. No max hand size, man of any color, decanter of endless water. Okay. Cure of the Rising Tide. Draws 2 cards. Discard. Yeah, you can ponder all day, baby. Draw them cards. Draw them cards. I think a question for this deck is how many creatures should we be running? And I actually don't truly know. There's an Ancient Tomb. Yeah, let's get more mana. I mean, we probably didn't need to cast an Ancient Tomb, but whatever. Slam an Ancient Tomb. Heliod, God of the Sun. Iroas, God of Victory. And they're all creatures. Let's go do some damage. A Farewell could get us. Yeah, even Austere Command. Austere Command would be pretty good. Austere Command doesn't get rid of the gods. Farewell would be fairly devastating. One thing to think about is that based on the amount of mana that we've made, other better commanders would probably be just winning the game with that. We're still kind of going. Like, opponents still have at least one more turn before, to find an answer. Yeah, another land wasn't really it. I don't know, like doing this with Aurelia. Aurelia probably ends the game one way or another, right? That other, with the amount of mana we made, we should probably have already won the game. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, we've played 4 pretty good cards, but even still, like, our current turn clock is longer than 1 turn to kill both players. So, just things to think about. Speaking of Stone Rains, a long time ago, I ran into a Jund deck on Magic Online. I can't even remember who the commander was at this point, but it was literally just every version of Stone Rain. Like, literally all of them. Every turn, they would cast another one. And, like, I think I actually won the game, but it was, like, the longest. It was a 1v1. It was the longest, worst game I ever remembered. There's a Makokoro. I would be very happy if they wanted to draw with that. 1, because we need cards. 2, because we still have Smothering Tithe, so... That is the thing to think about. If you are running Smothering Tithe, Makokoro combos with it really well. I'll draw the card and get my mana back. Is it a May? No, just forces them to draw. Ooh, Waving Mind Sensor. Okay. I have no idea what this blue deck is. Opponent's attacking us, but I don't know. I think we just take it. Swords of Plowshares. Helpful, but I was kind of hoping for something either fun or game winning. That's 12. Yep, we need... Oh, you know what? We can make tokens. Well, it's too late now. It is too late now. Drop the blue deck. Draw with the Minas Tirith. The Oketra. Let's get all the gods. You know what? We'll hold that one back just in case Farewell shows up. We don't need to lose everything into a Farewell. Yeah, opponents... They're at 42. Like, yeah, that's my point, is that, like, other decks would probably have them dead by now. I guess Haktos really is kind of on that you want to slow everything down game plan. Like, Aurelia, if you make a lot of mana, like, you just kill everyone. Adriana, same sort of thing, right? Like, you're just gonna, you know, when you're piling on damage like that, where Haktos really wants to kind of, like, slow the game down to its tempo. Versus being able to just, like, we'll just speed the tempo up. So far this game, opponents have not presented the level of threats that were in the last game either. Turn 6, like, I know we've had a super fast start, but what we've seen opponents drop into play really hasn't been anything that gets me all that worried. Helmret's Archive is actually interesting, though. Ooh, Ryu. That's an extra combat is what that is. Play the land. Unfortunately, it doesn't work well with, I guess you can do it on second combat. Okay, yeah, that works. Let's see how this works. I really haven't used this card that much. All the gods. This is fun. Attack with Haktos. Yeah, trigger Ryu. I should actually build this thing. I always kind of looked at it and just never did when it came out. So there's a poke for 6. Back to combat. Send them all this time. This one's got double strike, thankfully. Yeah, I think one thing to consider with Ryu is that like it's very aggressively costed at 4 mana. It's like a very easy thing to get into play. Rolling Earthquake. We don't have 13 in us. Oh, right, I forgot. A Chrome's Memorial also gives Pro Red, which also plays into this whole plan that we're doing. Although I guess Rolling Earthquake doesn't... It won't affect their creatures at all. But if we get enough mana, we can literally just burn them down, so... That is nice. Sun Titan. Do I need to be running the Birth of Meletus more? You get a Plains and you get to make an 0/4 and you gain 2 life. I mean, I guess it's like 2 mana, find a Plains. Is that good enough? I guess if you care about the fact that it's a permanent and you can do things with it being a permanent, that's kind of cool and interesting. Yeah, sometimes early in a game having an 0/4 defender isn't the worst either. Just something you can like throw in front of stuff. Boots. Get back the land. I might give opponent 1 turn here. I just want to see where this deck goes. I don't even care if we lose, honestly. Like, we're in a winning position, right? Like, and we can fault line if we need to. Yeah, I'm gonna pass through our combat. I know. Oh wait, attack you if able. Attacks if able. Okay. Which means they're okay. Yeah, they're gonna be dead then. Yeah, Ryu really isn't terrible. It's not like a complete extra combat, but it's sort of like it's like a half an extra combat, but on an aggressive mana while also getting a creature in play. So like, yeah, certain decks definitely fits in. There's the trigger. And there's the win. Turns out Smothering Tithe is still pretty good. Even more so on turn 3 with 2 blue decks who did not try to play around us at all. Yeah, you just activate that Brainstorm into our Smothering Tithe. Yeah, so... Oop, nope, don't look at that. That's my face. I guess we can see my face anyway. Yeah, if I were going to update this, I would... Well, if I wanted it to be stronger, I do think you want to play that like control style. Um, yeah, like I said, in that first game is a more representative of example of like kind of how things will go. Just that I really botched the start. Um, but yeah, you want to drag the game out a little bit because unless you have double strike and extra combats on the board ready to go, you don't kill super quickly. Like if you're just doing the 6 damage by itself, it's like that's fine. But yeah, you really do want to be slowing everything down. So I mean, I think a tragic arrogance really does make a lot of sense. I was looking at, I'm like, we don't have any of the white board wipes in this deck. We probably want at least one. I mean, do you go Cataclysmic Gear Hulk also? Oops. Why is nothing working? Um, this deck does use a lot of enchantments, though. I mean, it's gonna be costly if you do it, but yeah. So maybe I won't make the changes now, just because Magic Online's kind of laggy. But yeah, I think that controlling style of play is where you want to be, and if you really want to push the power, you start looking at Cataclysm and some of the mass land destruction type stuff. Razia's Purification. That'll make it real silly. Honestly, if I were going to do that, I think those cards. If I were going to do that, I think you get rid of a lot of these. You really cut down on this red thing. Because, like, this red board wipe plan that I'm doing does eat up a lot of deck slots. There's 7 red board wipes, and then there's, like, I don't know, 2 or 3 other cards that also care about the like give us protection from red or protection from burn. So that's just a lot of deck slots. So if we're gonna do the Razia's Purification thing, uh, you would want to do that, and then you would want to do like the appropriate, like I don't know, Angelic Renewal or whatever cards like that like bring your stuff back if you're planning on nuking the entire board, so that once again, so kind of the whole plan is like make one-sided board wipes, right? Like make board wipes that are very unequal and your opponents can't recover. Uh and Haktos just kind of stays in play, whacking away, right? That really is the name of the game with this thing. That said, so we talked about that. I do like a lot of the cards that came after Haktos since the last time I played it. So, like I said, it was basically 6 years ago when the last time I touched Haktos as a deck. And Tempered in Solitude is a nice pickup. Guild Artisan, Popular Entertainer, all the backgrounds really are fantastic pickups for this commander. This doesn't target, right? No, that doesn't target. Yeah. So that's all great stuff. Really like that. Yeah, there's a lot of good enchantments, and that the card draw is better. We didn't draw so many cards. I probably need to tinker the card draw a little bit in this deck. Um, oh, you want to like Showdown of the Scalds? Yeah, we probably need to Ignite the Future, Showdown of the Scalds, just the real basic stuff. Yeah, what can we cut? I still want to live the dream. Wait, at the beginning. No, it doesn't target, does it? No, it doesn't target. I still want to live the dream with that one time. I'm not gonna cut it until I live the dream. Um, is Wheel of Fortune? Do we still need Wheel of Fortune? Honestly, the gods are cool, but yeah, I mean, similar to your commander, they're just kind of like brick walls that sit there, and that's fun. It is a style of play. We can get rid of Guardian of the Guild Pact. That one's probably well past its, because it's not going to give you much. Oh well, I guess you can block. You can block with it, can't you? I don't know. We can get rid of it. Super fun card though. In the sense that it's a fun choice, not that it's necessarily like the best thing ever. At this point, I'm always just like, whenever I get to make unique choices in a deck, I'm always very excited. Um, what did I say we were bringing in? Forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, ignite the future. Tempered in Solitude, Tavern Brawler. Let's get Showdown. Chivalric Alliance is sort of tricky. I don't know. We're not like super well set up to always be attacking twice. Um, do we really need Aggravated Assault? The problem with Aggravated Assault is that it's like it's not really that good without Feast and Famine. It's a lot of mana to get that extra combat. But the combo is really why you like it. I might cut Aggravated Assault. So if you're doing that, you probably want more tutors. You know, that's like it works better if you're doing full equipment and like, you know, if you run into Aggravated Assault and you have like 5 equipment tutors in your deck, it's easy to like tutor for Feast and Famine to get that going. What else? Yeah, you also might not be able to. You'd have to put it on something else, right? Uh, and there's generally enough other creatures. Sort of, it's tricky. Um, yeah, that's probably good for now. What we get? We got Showdown and Ignite. Yeah, definitely wanted to get those in. I noticed the card draw was like a little rough. Um, Honestly, we could probably use one more card draw spell somewhere, but could just shave all the equipment and all the tutors. We could. I would want to replace those with more value pieces, and I can't remember what all the value pieces are that I would put in those spots off the top of my head. And some of them are kind of tricky. Like if you got to attack with 2 creatures, it's a little dicey. Yeah, we'll just leave this as is for now. I am going to export this? Oh, you guys remember when I played Ivor? Ivor was super fun. I had a lot more fun with Ivor than I was like really expecting. I'm just like, seems fine. And then I played it. I'm like, oh my god, this is fun. Anyway, I'm supposed to be exporting this deck list. Who's this, Haktos? Do this. Oh, this should be the new one, right? Nope, that's the old list. All right, I'll mess with that tomorrow. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap the stream up here. Cut a deal feels bad as soon as one player is eliminated. Oh yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, Secret Rendezvous might be a card. Yeah, maybe we add that in. Whatever. I'll do that after. All right, I'm going to wrap the stream up. Thank you guys for tuning in. I don't know. I think I'm going to try to aim for like maybe one stream a month or so. Maybe one every 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, something like that is probably more reasonable. for what kind of time I can devote right now. But yeah, there's still things rattling around in my head. A lot of it's older stuff. We talked about Lightning a little bit earlier today, and she actually looks pretty cool. So maybe we'll check that out at some point in the future. Jolly Balloon Man's one that I've been thinking about a little bit. I owe someone an Aragas deck, so maybe we'll see that at some point. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys again real soon.